Hello and welcome to the BookTube channel, Jack in the Book Stack, where I talk about a wide variety of book genres and the bookish lifestyle. Today we are kicking off my July book shopping, book unboxing, book haul video. I will leave a playlist for you down below, a link to all the other videos where I have done this. I take different video clips throughout the month of me acquiring books and sharing with you what made me want to acquire that book. And usually there's quite a lot. I'm expecting a lot this month. Right now, today is July 5th. And yesterday I spent the holiday, 4th of July, book shopping with my family. We went to one of my favorite local bookshops. It's a used bookstore. So I was able to take a small stack of books that I wanted to exchange for store credit. I got about $28 in credit that I used to buy two other books. I will show them to you right now. First of all, I got a mystery thriller called Who is Maud Dixon? And this is one that I had seen on BookTube before, I think only once, so it's not widely popular, but I had heard good things about it. I have like good impression, even though I don't remember specifically, but I think this has really good character work in it, and that's why one reason I wanted to get it. I mean, that's why it was on my radar. But when I was reading the summary in the bookstore, there's one thing in particular that sold me. Maud Dixon wants to get material for her next book, so her and Florence travel to Morocco, which I have never seen represented in a book. If you have, please comment down below, because Morocco is one of my favorite countries in the whole world. I visited Morocco in, gosh, I can't remember the year, but it was a solo trip, and it was one of my favorite experiences. That like when I came home and I bought a new house, I actually have like Moroccan influence in the decor because I loved it so much. So seeing that they go to Morocco and this was already on my radar, I decided to pick it up, and it was only like $8.50, I think. The second book that I got with my store credit is one that my friends have been pressuring me to read for a long time. That book is Swan Song by Robert McCammon. This is a horror book. It's kind of a beefy one, so I don't know when I'm going to be able to schedule this. So Andy and Scott, if you're watching this video, know that the goods are secured, and I will eventually make my way to this. Maybe October? I mean, October is already pretty full with some spooky season books, so no promises, but at least it will be on my shelf now. I just got a delivery from Amazon, and I was gonna unbox this with you. So this is the book that I'm reading right now, and I was at, I don't know, maybe 25% of the way in on the 4th of July, and I was loving it so much that I went and ordered it online from Amazon because I was like, I can't wait. And then now I kept reading, and now that I'm at 56%, I'm like, oh, I'm a little bit frustrated because the main character, I could see how she could be a little bit annoying, but it wasn't getting to me that much until 56%, and now I'm like, okay, this is a little bit overkill. She needs to calm down. So I'm talking about When the Moon Hatched. So I'm hoping that it gets better in the second half. But either way, I have a fancy new paperback edition of the book. Oh, you know, today is a good day when you get 3 packages from Book Outlet. As of this very moment, I own 899 books, but I just got this epic haul from my favorite online bookseller, which is Book Outlet, and this will push me over the 900 mark. So I'm really excited. I am on my way to my own personal library, which is defined as 1,000 books. So since I'm so close, that is the goal. But let's focus on what we have here in these 3 boxes. I ordered these all on different days, but they all arrived today, so pleasantly surprised. I don't know which books are in which order, so really looking forward to it. Ooh. And I'm not peeking because the first book I pull out will be my 900th book, and that's kind of like a cool milestone, so I don't want to cheat. We're gonna find out together. All right, so I have the box right here. First one that I'm picking is a paperback. Feels like a thick one. Can't remember what it is. Oh, funny. This is it. Okay, so this is book number 13 in the Wheel of Time series, and I will eventually get around to reading these, but I keep seeing them like on sale or on Book Outlet, and I really want to pick them up. On Book Outlet, they have this like little mark, this little Sharpie mark, which does not bother me. It's been pretty rare to find these last 3 books of the series on sale, because I don't know if it's because Brandon Sanderson wrote them or co-wrote them. I don't know what the term would be for him helping out with Robert Jordan's series after he passed away, but it's been hard to track these down for sale or discount. So when I saw this available, I was so happy. So this is officially my 900th book. Next in the box, a French language learning book. So sometimes I find language books on Book Outlet. I have the goal of learning Spanish and French. Right now I'm focusing on Spanish, and once I get that to a certain level, I will pick up French because I am a complete beginner. I did like 800 days on Duolingo, but that did no good. So I figured grabbing this from Book Outlet would be good preparation for when I'm ready to pick up that language. Have all the materials ready. Ooh, the next book, Woman Eating. I read this and I adored this. It's a literary fiction with vampires, but we focus on this woman's relationship with her mother and with food, and I really, really liked it. I wanted to hold out for a hardcover edition. This is the paperback. It's not available that frequently on Book Outlet, so I figured I would just get it now on paperback, and that's okay with me. Still really, really fantastic book. The next one is Alice by Christina Henry. This looks so fascinating. I'm assuming it's an Alice in Wonderland retelling, but like a horror spin on it. This is my 3rd Christina Henry book that I've gotten that I have not read. I'm wondering if I should do a reading vlog, like an author taste test for Christina Henry, and read some of her horror books and see if I like her. The next book, it's the last one, 10 minutes, 38 seconds in this strange world. Okay, when I saw this book, I was completely pumped. Like I could not add to cart faster than what I did. I first saw this book on the BookTube channel, Books with Emily Fox. I'm gonna link the video down below so that you can see her explanation, what inspired me to put this book on my TBR. But she had this in her mid-year book tag, and I think it was under the question of her favorite new character. I think might have been favorite author, but I want to say it's like favorite character. And the premise just sounded so fascinating. And after I added it to my TBR, I watched a video by Books with Lala, and Kayla read this and she rated it 5 stars. And so I think I have the proper expectations. I am prepared for this to be a very emotional read. This starts off with a woman who is a prostitute, and she's left for dead in a dumpster. And she is dead, but her brain activity remains active for 10 minutes and 38 seconds. And in that time, we go through the different phases of her life and the different people that she impacted. And I think the theme of this book is the seemingly unknown ways that we impact, influence, enter other people's lives and like make a difference. And it seems very emotional. Some of the plot lines that were described in these other videos, I'm ready for it. I am so stoked to read this book. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to focus on the rest of my TBR knowing this is on my shelf now. So this is one of 3 of my book unboxings for the day. Again, I love Book Outlet. I love how the books are cost effective and I can find deals on books that I normally don't see discounted too often. Time to open box number 2. The first book in the second box. Okay, I think I know what this one is. I think this one is a children's book. I'm right, Ferdinand the Bull. Did you ever read this as a kid? Or do you remember it from the movie The Blind Side with Sandra Bullock? They talk about this one, but I loved this book as a kid. And so when I saw it available, I was like, yeah, that could be fun to add to the collection. Very nostalgic for me. All right, next in the box. Isn't this the coolest cover that you have ever seen? This book is called Thrust. I believe it's a fantasy. I don't know anything about it. I think I've seen it on BookTube once, maybe twice, but I can't even remember if it is decent. I think it's a fantasy book. Under the shadow of a giant, never-finished national monument, she discovers a talisman that allows her to connect with a series of characters from the past 2 centuries, innocents and criminals, workers and subversives, finding her way through the history of her imperfect country to forge a connection that might save their lives. I mean, if you can't tell, this was purely a cover buy because, like, how could I not? The next book in the haul, Dance of Thieves. I think this one is a YA fantasy. Now, when I went to purchase this, book 1 and book 2 were available on Book Outlet. By the time I went to my cart to check out, book 2 was sold out. So I'm a little bit disappointed because I only bought this now because I thought I could get both books. So that was a little disappointing. I'm just gonna need to keep an eye out for the second book. It's called Vow of Thieves, for that one to be available. I'm hoping this is like a heist kind of a story because I love heist tropes. Next from the box, ooh, Kiki's Delivery Service. This looks super, super cute. I see this, I don't know if it's like a middle grade or YA, but it seems really charming and cozy, and I see it all the time on BookTube. Cozy, witchy, perhaps, but I thought this could be a fun little palette cleanser. Then we have Brother. This is definitely not a palette cleanser. This is on my TBR for October. I wanted to do a reading vlog about cannibalism for the spooky season, and that's what this one is about, or it has that trope in some capacity. So I saw it available for sale and I figured, sure, why not? The last book in this box is A Head Full of Ghosts by Paul Tremblay. This is a horror book, and I've heard good things about it. I think it was Mike's Book Reviews that read this book and really, really liked it. I just have favorable impressions about this horror story. I don't know how graphic or how extreme it is, so I might need to look that up. Or maybe I could just go into it blind and be surprised. So here is the next round of books that I got from box number 2. Again, super affordable and happy to add these ones to the collection. I'm definitely well into the 900s at this point for my book collection, so this third box is just going to solidify my library being well into the 900s, even if I decide to unhaul a couple books. I don't often unhaul books, but there is going to be a point where I'm just going to run out of space in this house on my bookshelves and run out of rooms I could add more shelves. So I need to start being more conscious of what I'm getting, but that day is not today. If I remember correctly, there was one box that should be mostly romantasy, so I think that's going to be this one. But it's not the first book. So the first book is The 100-Year-Old Man Who Climbed Out the Window and Disappeared. This is one that appealed to me because it's about a 100-year-old man. I think he's in like a nursing home. I think he's forgotten, and he decides to escape and go on a massive adventure. And I think the adventure includes a lot of travel. So I like travel in books, and I love older narrators because so oftentimes they're like dismissed, they're ignored, they're forgotten about. So I love that concept. The back says, a reluctant centenarian, right? A reluctant centenarian with a life much like Forrest Gump's, if Gump were an explosive expert with a fondness for vodka, decides it's never too late to start over. That looks so charming and cute. I'm looking forward to that. Let's see if the next one is romantasy. It is. The Serpent and the Wings of Night. Okay, so I read this one on Kindle Unlimited. This is book 1 in the Crowns of Nixia series, and I really liked it. I liked the plot, I liked the magic, I liked the world, I liked the politics that we were like laying the foundation for. And then I picked up book 2 and I hated it, and so I DNF'd it. But I'm thinking, I really want to love romantasy. I really do. Conceptually, it has all the things that I'm looking for. I just have a couple common problems with romantasy, the biggest one being the female main characters. And the female main character in book 2 was the reason I DNF'd it, because she was so stubborn. She was so absorbed in her own feelings. She could not think strategically. She was just hurt and angry and being just miserable, and I did not like her. But I think I want to try it again because I like what this author's doing, like a large series in the same world, but it's broken into duets. and the duets follow different couples. And that sounds really intriguing. And I like this world, I like the magic. So I would like to give BookTube another try, and I would like to continue trying the rest of the series. So when I saw this on sale, and there's not even a little Sharpie mark on that, how funny. I figured picking it up from Book Outlet would be a good way to add to the collection. Oh, Ruthless Vows. Okay, this is the book I saw that originally made me start this order, because I have book 1, Divine Rivals, and now I have the complete set, because I think this is just gonna be a duet, I think. And so having both of them, now I can actually read it, because like, I have to have the complete series before I read things. It drives me crazy to read incomplete series. Okay. Okay, hear me out. Hear me out. This was a dumb purchase. This is book 5 in a series, and I have not even read book 1. And it's available on Kindle Unlimited. It would cost me nothing to read this. But in the off chance I love the series and want to buy it, why not get one of them discounted through Book Outlet? So book 1 in this series is called The Song of the Marked, which has been on my TBR for a while. This is part of the Shadows and Crowns series. And I wanted to give it a shot. Like the series I wanted to give a shot. And so again, I hope it's the same publisher and the same size. Like if I do decide to buy the series, otherwise I might have to donate that one. Fall of Ruin and Wrath by Jennifer L. Armentrout. Haven't read from her yet. I still have to read from the Blood and Ash series. I think that's on my schedule for next month, for August. But I've heard really good things. I saw some people reading this on BookTube and really, really enjoying it. They said some positive things about this that I'm blanking on right now, but I have favorable impressions of this. And this has been on Book Outlet for the longest time, and it's always like top of the list. So I feel like Book Outlet is really pushing it to me. And so I'm like, all right, shut up already, I'll buy it. There's one book left in this box. So let me get rid of the box and then we'll see what it is together, because I do not remember. And An Absent Dream by Shannon McGuire. So this is, I think it's book 4 in a series. And was it the Wayward Children series? I have a bunch more of them over there. I have not started this series yet. They're super, super short, so I could like bang them out really quickly, I'm sure. But I just pick them up as I see them used or discounted, because then I can have a complete series and then read them all at one time. Here is stack number 3 from this massive Book Outlet book unboxing that pushed me well into the 900s for my book collection. I am so excited to read these. I need to go add these to my inventory and get an official count of how many books I own now. I'm going to use the Libib app on my phone to scan all these books into my inventory. Then I'll switch over to my laptop to categorize them. So now to check how many books I own, I go to the filters. I own 916 books. I just hauled 17, so I have to categorize them because I also categorize them into not read and read. And then I also tag them with the genre that they are and the format. If they're paperback, mass market paperback, if they're hardcover special edition or traditional hardcover. So I'll go through and tag these, but at least for right now, I know that I own 916 books. Surprise, surprise, I've done some more book shopping. This past weekend, I went to Barnes & Noble with my aunt and my cousin. Seems to be our new weekend routine, and I am not complaining. Barnes & Noble was having a buy one, get one 50% off sale, and I didn't want to get books just for the sake of getting books, despite the evidence in this video that shows the exact opposite. But what we did is my cousin got a book, I got one, and then we just split the cost. And I had $5 in Barnes & Noble credit, so the total cost for this book was like 12 bucks. So that was perfect. The book I got was this one, How to Become the Dark Lord and Die Trying. This has been on my TBR because it has one of my favorite things in books, which is a time loop where the same day repeats itself over and over. And I love seeing how that day goes differently based on the decision the character makes. So in this one, I think the character is trying to defeat the Dark Lord, and each day that they're unsuccessful, they die, and then the day starts over. Kind of makes me think of a video game, honestly. So I think at some point they decide to just give up on killing the Dark Lord and they just decide to become the Dark Lord. And one of the genre tags in GoodReads for this one is actually humor, like as the genre. And that has me really intrigued because humor can go like one of two ways in books. Either it is a complete hit and I love it and it's so entertaining, or it's a complete flop. It's too forced, it's cringeworthy, feels like the author's laughing at their own jokes and thinks like so highly of themselves as being funny. So I don't know which way this is gonna go, but there is only one way to find out. Next up, I have an Amazon order because I keep a wish list of books that I have my eye on, books that are on my radar to purchase. And I noticed as I was checking the wish list that some were on sale, but also there was a buy two, get the third one free. And I mean, I cannot pass up a sale because I'm gonna buy these books anyways, right? They're like on my radar. So I really had to strategize which ones. And obviously the free one is gonna be the cheapest of the trio. So you want to make them like the same price or like roughly the same price. And I wanted books that I have been monitoring for a while and haven't seen prior sales. So for example, I have some books on my wish list that are later on in the series, like books 7 or 8. And I know that when the newer release comes out, those prices will drop to the $15 range, which is typically my threshold. So I didn't worry about getting those ones because I'm confident the price will decrease. These ones, okay, I'm kind of having an identity crisis right now, and the completionist in me, like the OCD in me, is stressing out about the unfinished series in my collection. Like unfinished, like I own some of the books, but I don't own the other ones because I'm always so scared that the author is gonna stop publishing them in certain editions and like republish them in another one, and I won't have them match. Like, this keeps me up at night. Okay, not really. So the 3 books I got are all part of series that I partially already own. So the first book is Sunbringer. This is the sequel to Godkiller. This is a fantasy series that I have heard fantastic things about. I love that they are thinner. I don't know, I tried looking this up after I ordered it to see if it's only going to be a duology, like just 2 books, or if there's going to be more, and I didn't see any evidence on GoodReads, so there might be more in the series, but for now I got book 2. Next in the box, I got a book 1 in the series because I actually found book 3 on Book Outlet for really cheap, but I didn't own any of the other ones. So I decided that, you know, hey, if I'm gonna get book 3, I might as well get 1 and 2. Book 2 is available on Amazon for under $8, so I wasn't gonna worry about that right now. I can get that later. This one was about 15 bucks, so it was like in the same range as this one. This was about 15 as well. So I picked this one up. This is a YA fantasy, and I am also anxious to try more fantasy because I'm struggling a little bit with finding stuff that I like, so I kind of want to try that because it's going to be, I imagine it to be intriguing. I think there's some romance in it, but I also think it might be a little bit softer, like less of this like epic war type stuff and lots of violent death, and like mix up the fantasy reading a little bit, which is complete opposite for book 3 in this box. I got my missing hardcover edition from the Song and Ice and Fire series. I had all these in mass market paperback, but I don't like mass market paperback because the font is too small for me to read. I love holding mass market paperbacks, but like my eyeballs do not like them. So I'm reordering these in hardcover. I have read books 1 and 2, but I need to continue in my read. So I think this was book 4. And the other ones, when I re-bought them in hardcover, I bought them used off of Pango, but they did not have the right cover for this book. So that's why it had been on my wish list, and it was always at like $19.99, and it was not dropping. It was not going on sale. And just recently it did, like it dropped like $1 or $2, or like $1 and some change. So not a lot. And so I don't think this one's gonna get any cheaper than this sale. So that's why I got that one, even though it's a little bit higher than the other price ranges. But I will show you, because I got these 3 books, and I will show you the screenshot I took of how much they cost after the sale was calculated in. And I was pretty pleased. Like, that is the price point I like to see these books at, like maximum, because obviously Book Outlet I get them a lot cheaper. But pretty happy with this little bit of a haul. I am about to log into an online Spanish class here in a moment, but I have a couple minutes, so I wanted to update you on 2 more books that I have hauled. So I went to a used bookstore called Bookman's with my cousin this week, and I found another treasure to add. I got book 1 in the Winnowing Flame trilogy. This is The Ninth Reign. I got this for $7. And I have heard about this trilogy exclusively here on BookTube. And what's interesting is I just saw 2 more videos that talked about this. So the first was Peruse Project. She did a reading vlog where she read this book, and she was raving about it. She loved it. It was 5 stars. I'm not sure if she labeled it as a favorite, but it could be, because she spoke so highly of it and got me really jazzed. And then also Elliot Brooks just included this in a video she just posted this week, and she has talked about this series before. She's one of the booktubers that have convinced me to give this trilogy a try. But she included this in a fantasy sci-fi video she just filmed, so she's always raving about it. I'm really excited to try this trilogy. I hear it's very, very unique, mostly from those 2 booktubers, that it is very different, very unexpected, and amazing. I'm a little bit nervous that it's described as leaning a little bit sci-fi, and that puts me on guard because there's certain sci-fi things I don't enjoy, but I will keep an open mind. Either way, it was $7, so it didn't break the bank. And then the other book I already told you guys I was gonna get this. I got book 2 in the, what is the series called again? The Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy. You saw me get book 1 for this Amazon sale, so I did order this one from Amazon because it was under $8. And again, the completionist in me needs to have complete matching sets of books. So those are 2 more that I can add to the collection. Man, it has been a roller coaster of a week professionally, so I'm so excited that I have some books to haul. The first one I already opened, but it was my latest fairy loot from the monthly subscription box that I have, and I got this one. This is The Night Ends with Fire, and I was going through thinking about which books I wanted to skip, but this one kind of appealed to me. I think it has dragons. Confirmed. It does have dragons, and also it kind of says so right there on the back. But the true retail therapy I have right here is a delivery from Book Outlet, which I swear has taken forever. I've been tracking the shipment, and it always says it's like in another state, and it's like not updating. I swear, unless it's like Amazon, you have no idea where the package is until it just arrives at your door. All right, let's see what is in this box, because I've already kind of forgotten. I know one book in particular, and I've already mentioned it several times, but let's see. I think it might be this first one that I'm touching here, because I feel a hardcover, and it feels kind of long. Oh, I'm right. A Curse for True Love. Of course, this is book 3 that I keep talking about from the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy. So now I have the complete set of this YA fantasy series. And next, Vow of Thieves. I mentioned that I tried to get this one along with book 1, and by the time I went to check out, this one was already sold out, but it came back in stock. So I ordered this. So now I have a complete duet. The completionist in me is like really happy with this haul so far. Next up, I have Mislaid in Parts Half Known. This is part of the Wayward Children series that I am just collecting over time as I see them for like a price that I'm comfortable with. They're pretty small. This one will be interesting for me to read because pretty much, I don't like portal fantasy, and I think that's exactly what this is. But because I'm prepared for it, I know to keep an open mind and it'll be okay, I'm sure. Next up, Velvet Was the Night, which it's by Sylvia Moreno Garcia, which I've had like mixed feelings on. I'm not sure if this is a thriller or a horror. I don't really have any kind of impression on it. I just needed like a little bit extra to get free shipping, and so that's what I ended up getting instead of paying for shipping. And then this one, seriously, this is the best possible order for my OCD because I'm completing so many things. I got She Who Became the Sun and He Who Drowned the World. I think this is just a duet. I don't know if this is like an incomplete series or what the deal is, but these go together, and so I'm so happy to have an up-to-date or complete group of books. So that is the latest haul from Book Outlet. Again, super affordable. That's why I love getting these books. Even if they weren't on my TBR, all of these were on my radar. I have awareness of them, so I'm so excited to add them to the collection, and it's pretty cost effective. Or, you know, that's just me justifying my book buying addiction. Well, I think that's all of the books that I'm going to be getting in the month of July, so I am going to close out this video here. I do have some more books ordered, but the month is about to close out. I don't think they're going to come in time, so I'm just going to have to do another book haul video. But I am so happy with this month's haul. I've been saying I want to slow down and how many books I'm getting just because I'm going to run out of space soon and need to invest in some more bookshelves. But I crossed the 900 book milestone, which feels so cool. And now that like 1,000 books is just in my sights, like that's a goal now. Like I never had a goal. I was never trying to get my collection to a certain number, but now I am because I think that's such a round number and like perfect. So here's to many more books to be hauled in the upcoming months. Thank you so much for hanging out with me in this book haul, book shopping, book unboxing video, and I will see you in the next one.